Manel Kape versus Almabayev just wrapped up on UFC Fight Night, and man, what a wild fight. Before I break it all down, I just have to say, my boy did it. Now, I had my doubts, I really did, to be honest. I wasn't sure if Kape was going to lock in and deliver when it matters the most because, let's be honest, we've seen him drop the ball before against Muhammad Mokaev, against people like Alexandre Pantoja. He had his moments where you can see the potential, but he never fully capitalized on it. He always seemed a little too patient against grapplers, maybe even hesitant at times. And it made me wonder, is Kape going to be one of those guys with wasted potential? A fighter who has all the talent in the world, but just never put it all together on fight day. But man, he brought it. And not just a little, Kape showed up locked in, focused, and looking like the best version of himself. The second I saw him, how he was pressing forward, how he was cutting off the cage, switched his stances mid-combo, and was just letting his hands fly, I knew this was the guy I always believed he could be. This was the version of Kape that can make a serious run for the title. And dude, it was so satisfying to watch. Because when we look at the flyweight division, and let's be real, the division has never been known for having a lot of stars. Outside of Demetrius Johnson, Henry Cejudo, and maybe Brandon Moreno, most casual fans don't really connect with the 125ers. But Kape, this guy can break through. He's got an exciting style. He's not just a point fighter. He's looking to put people out, and he's got power. And in this division, that's rare. When Kape lands, you can literally see his opponent's getting sent flying. It's ironic, but yeah, these flyweights actually fly when he cracks them. He's got the personality, the dude is edgy, confident, and he just doesn't care. He's out there speaking his mind, flipping off his opponents, getting into verbal spats with the media, and bringing a level of entertainment that this division desperately needs. And most importantly, he's finally showing that he could put it all together in the octagon. Now, going on to the fight itself, Kape came out like a man on a mission. Right away, you could tell that the mindset was different. He wasn't second guessing himself. He wasn't waiting. He was hunting. From the opening bell, he took control, pressing forward and forcing Almabayev into defense mode. You can see Almabayev trying to find his range, but Kape wasn't giving him the time or space to get comfortable. The stance switches was on point. He would blitz in from southpaw, then seamlessly transition to orthodox mid-combo, throwing jabs and rights over the top. That fluidity made it incredibly hard for Almabayev to time his counters. Almabayev wasn't just a sitting duck though, he was trying to implement his own game plan. He was looking for spinning back kicks, targeting both the body and the head, trying to keep Kape guessing. But Kape was reading him well, stepping out of range or outright catching those kicks and making him pay for them. By the end of the first round, Almabayev started looking for takedowns, realizing that the striking exchanges weren't going his way. Kape stuffed them all with ease, sprawling hard and making Almabayev work just hard to get back to his feet. To make things worse for Almabayev, a cut opened near his eye towards the end of the round, likely from one of those clean counters. Heading into the second round, Almabayev knew he had to switch things up, and he went right back to the takedown attempts. Kape was having none of it, and at one point, Almabayev threw a spinning back kick, and Kape just level changed underneath it, completely shutting it down. Then came the controversy. Almabayev started complaining about an eye poke, but after a review, the referee ruled it a legal punch. You could see the frustration starting to set in for Almabayev. He was struggling to get anything going, and Kape was the only one getting more confident as the fight progressed. By the time the third round started, Almabayev looked completely overwhelmed. He was backing up even more, circling a lot, and at times even turning his back. It was clear that he was feeling the pressure, and Kape was relentless. Almabayev was shooting desperately for takedowns, but Kape defended well. He held strong. Then, in one of the weirdest moments of the fight, Almabayev literally sprinted across the octagon to create distance, and it was bizarre to watch. He was just outright running. Kape was staying composed, kept cutting him off, landing clean shots, and kept pressuring on. Eventually, Almabayev stopped mid-fight to complain to the ref about another illegal foul, but the referee didn't intervene. Kape sensed the moment, capitalized, and landed a few more clean shots. Then the referee stepped in and called the fight, awarding Kape the TKO victory. Now, was it the cleanest stoppage? Almabayev wasn't rocked or unconscious, but turning your back away like that repeatedly, disengaging, and not actively defending yourself, it's just not something that the referee's just gonna let you slide with, you know? And yes, there was some controversy with that stoppage, and some fans felt like Almabayev was looking for a way out. Others argued that the ref should have handled the eye poke situation differently, but at the end of the day, the official ruling stands as Manel Kape gets the TKO victory. And I'm not gonna lie, man, the eye poke situation left a bad taste in my mouth. It's not just the way you want to see a fight end, you know, especially when it's a guy like Kape, who you know has the skills to win clean. And look, I can sit here and argue that Kape was already on his way to win, which I do believe he was, but even saying that doesn't feel right. It still kind of sucks, especially when you look back at what happened last week with that eye poke that completely stopped that fight. That was one bad eye poke, and now here we are again with another fight getting in a weird, controversial ending because of it. It's just frustrating, man. You don't want to see a fight turn into a debate over a referee's decision. You want a clear, undeniable winner where there's no questions about who's the better fighter. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. This is the fight game. Stuff like this happens. Would I have preferred Kape to get a clean finish without any controversy? Of course. But do I think he was already in full control of the fight before the stoppage? Yeah, I do. So while the ending isn't ideal, I still think the right guy won. And honestly, this is exactly what he needed, and he showed up, he delivered, and he proved that he's not just some flashy, inconsistent fighter, he's a real contender. His striking looked sharp, his takedown defense was on point, and more than anything, his confidence was through the roof. If he keeps this up, he could be knocking on the door at a title shot sooner than other people think. Now, you're probably asking, where does Kape go from here? This fight demonstrated that he remains a force to be reckoned with in the flyweight division. His striking, his stance switching, and pressure continues to be his biggest strength, but he also showcased solid takedown defense and an ability to dictate the fight. So if you ask me, it's probably going to be Alexander Pantoja next, assuming that Kai Kara-France is actually getting the title shot, that is. But if he doesn't, just throw Manel Kape in there already. At this point, Pantoja has pretty much ran through the entire division, so whether it's Kai or Kape, I'm fine with either matchup. But if we're talking about a rematch between Pantoja and Kape, I actually think Kape has a real shot at winning this time, which is kind of crazy to say. Their first fight was competitive, but Kape was way too hesitant, almost like he was trying to play it safe instead of letting his hands go. But now, he looks way more aggressive, sharper, and confident in his offense. His striking has always been elite, but lately, he's been throwing with real purpose, mixing things up and fighting with an intensity we didn't see him have in the first fight. Of course, Pantoja is a monster on the ground, and if he gets Kape in bad positions, it could be a wrap. But Kape's takedown defense has improved, and his ability to land counters while moving backwards makes this a way more dangerous fight for Pantoja than it was before. Now, if Kape fights like he has been fighting recently, staying active, pressuring, and not holding back, there's a legit chance that he can flip the script and take that belt. And now, as for Almabayev, it was a rough night for him. He had some good moments early on, but once Kape started picking up steam, it got tough for him to get anything going. You could see him trying to stick to his game plan, but Kape's pressure and explosiveness just didn't give him space to work with. If he wants to keep climbing, he's going to have to make some adjustments, especially when it comes to dealing with aggressive pressure-heavy guys. That said, he's still a talented fighter, and I'd love to see him bounce back against someone like an Alex Perez. That matchup makes a lot of sense in my opinion. Perez is well-rounded, brings experience, and would be a solid test to see where Almabayev really stands in the division. But with all that being said, what did you guys think of the fight? Do you guys agree with the stoppage, or do you think it should have continued? Let me know in the comments down below, and as always, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And like always, guys, I'll see you guys on my next one.